Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So I'm finally reading the new Life is Strange book, Heatwaves. Well, it's not new, it came out a few months ago, but I've finally gotten around to it. I'm hoping to finish it this month in August, as well as my other book, the Steph one. So, about this book, in fact, the author left a note here. Life is Strange Heatwaves occurs in a timeline where Steph and Alex hit the road out of Haven Springs to chase their rambling band fantasy together. Whether your game choices led to page 1 of this book or not, I hope you enjoy the ride and continue to add your own spin to Life is Strange's world of infinite possibility. Because there's a comic book, Life is Strange Forget Me Not, which has Alex and Steph in it. Now that is in the timeline where Rachel and Chloe are alive, but I don't think it's in this book. Obviously this book does not connect to it at all. So without further ado, let's get into this. Life is Strange, Heatwaves. Chapter 1. In the Wild. Steph cracks the volume. Drive to the middle of nowhere, she belts, arms thundering out an air drum solo with peaches on my plate. The urge to add my air guitar to the mix is overwhelming, but I keep my hands on the wheel and find something else to focus on. The trees stand tall and still as we fly past, skies clear and air blowing hot through the window. You know what that song is about, right? I ask. Steph keeps the drums going and smirks at me. Ass, obviously. Pretty sure the peach emoji didn't exist in 1985, I grin. Were you there? She asked, jumping back into the lyrics with a plate full of peaches and someone to share them with, and winks at me. Too much, I giggle. I can't help it. She's so goofy. So for real, do you know this song's origin story? This was one of the first songs my brother Gabe and I heard on our dad's record player. It sat in the living room for so many years before Gabe asked to dust it off and try it out. I miss him so bad it hurts. Still, Steph rolls her eyes. Yes, I do. Some guy took too much of something, squeezed a bunch of peaches, and wrote a song about how horny he was. The source of all great songwriting, I'm afraid to ask. Horniness or too much of something? Or peaches? Or three? When we get to Fort Collins, we need to find something to smoke and squeeze some peaches. Stop, I laugh. I will tuck and roll out of this car. My cheeks feel hot, my whole head feels hot. I glance at her again. She's smiling at me, an aura of golden light glowing around her head. What? She asked, knowing very well what. To know Steph is to be constantly embarrassed as hell, and also delighted. I can't believe I'm really here with her. I shake my head and turn back to the road. You're reading me again, aren't you? She asks. You know I can't read you unless I reach out my hand to you. But you can see I'm happy. At least, I hope you can. And that I'm excited. Of course I can. And I soak in every beautiful, tingly, warm ray of gold. For Fort Collins, I ask our first destination. For the world, she says, reaching over and squeezing my knee. With you. If she had my powers, she would see I'm glowing too. I'm not even sure with what. Gold for joy, purple for the tidal wave of butterflies I'm feeling right now. I look down at her hand on my knee and quickly turn my attention back to the road. So, she says, turning down the music and nestling cozily in her seat. When we get there, what are you going to do first? I breathe and think. What does one do there? Fort Collins is so big compared to what I've gotten used to anyway. Foster homes used to be my whole world, each one the size of a cardboard box. I caught glimpses of Portland on nights when I could sneak out for acoustic shows and underground raves. I never really got a sense of the whole city, and then there's Haven Springs, which is no city at all, but a tiny community in a big wide world of mountains and open skies. I don't see how to calibrate anymore. As if she can read my mind, see a farmer's market, rent a bike, smoke weed, all free, all at the same time, I like it. I chuckle, but I have to agree. All free sounds nice. You glad we left? She asked me. Of course, Haven Springs was great to both of us, but it's time we moved on. Did what we want to, you know. Rocking out on stage, she dreams aloud, playing whatever. I'm surprised to hear the dreaminess in my voice too. This feeling of the open road literally and I guess metaphorically feels free. She pulls something out of her pocket from the corner of my eye. I can see that it's purple and fits in her palm. She shakes it. Of course you brought a shaker egg. Can't go nowhere fast without rhythm, she sings, tapping her free hand on the dashboard, her occupied hand shaking the egg in tandem. Can't go nowhere at all without time. I join in, lending my vocals, my fingers itching to strum my guitar along with the chic 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 of the egg. Can't go nowhere without you, babe. You're the rhythm to my rhyme. I study Steph all aglow as she sings with me, like we don't have a care in the world. New city, new careers, new dream. But we got each other. My mind drifts back to the word babe, and I realize how effortlessly it rolled off my tongue, off both our tongues. Could I call her that one day? Would she let me? Or would she say it's cliche? Then suddenly, something deep and dark settles into my stomach. Something that twists and coils. Something's wrong. What's the color of feeling like you've forgotten something? Holy shit, the oil, I exclaim, just as a soft clicking sound starts ticking away under the hood. The oil. Didn't you check it before we left? Exclaims Steph. She takes her feet down from the dash, so I know shit just got serious. I thought I did. I guess I forgot. I had literally one job. Steph had to load our instruments and backpacks in the car after buying this junker from her friend Hector. All I had to do was keep it on the road, keep all four tires on it, and check the oil. What do I do? I panic, feeling my breathing spiraling into something I don't recognize. Stop! Screams Steph. I slam the brakes way harder than I needed to, and the car lurches. Everything in the back seat and trunk flies forward, our instruments and most things we own. My guitar case slams into the back of my seat and falls back down and hits the center console, sticking into the back seat, letting out a sour twang. Or twing, something like that. Steph and I sit frozen in this car for what seems like forever, just catching our breath. I can't look at her. How could I when this was our dream? When this was her dream. Our dream. Taking our music on the road, performing for new people in new places. The Fort Collins Lamplighter Festival up first. We were finally starting the lives we dreamed of for months after getting a taste of the world. We were finally doing the thing. And now we're stuck somewhere on the way. Wait, where the hell even are we? As if we're both thinking the same thing, and I'm sure we are. We look around. Down the road ahead of us, as far as we can see, there are 0 street signs, not even a speed limit. I glance down at the rear view mirror, no street signs back the way we came either. What's the last city sign you remember seeing? I ask her, praying for something. Anything. Something like barbell? Bar something. Had enough of bars lately, thanks. And then she surprises me by laughing. I look at her confused. I'm laughing at how right you are, chuckles Steph, leaning back against her seat and pressing her hand to her forehead. Anywhere is better than the Black Lantern, huh? She sighs content. Can you believe we made it all the way out here? She asks. I'm already feeling the effects of the AC having been off for 20 seconds, but no, I can't believe it. It's only been weeks since I lost Gabe, since Steph and I lost a friend in Jed. No more than a friend, a father. It was right of us to leave. What else could we do? Stay in Haven Springs and put on shows for the few dozen people who live there? I guess that wouldn't have been so bad. I look at Steph and realize all over again that I'd go anywhere in the world as long as she was there with me. I never had a best friend before, not like this. Not even the words best friends feel right. I look around, the trees definitely look like they're turning their autumn hues. So why is it so hellishly hot out here? All by herself, she continues, swinging the door open. Well, time to fire Barbarella. Maybe they have peaches. We walk forever. Well, not forever, but long enough that the gold aura around Steph's head has disappeared. Walking to the middle of nowhere, she reprises, panting as she slings her duffel over her other shoulder for the 15th time. With peaches on my plate, I jump in, my guitar heavy on my back. What can I do but lend my voice? She needs to know she's not alone out here in this sweltering heat. But I look back for only a second, anxiety welling up as I wipe away beads of sweat from my forehead. I can feel my hair sticking to my face. Some is plastered to my glasses. Hey, I say, stopping and pulling off my guitar case for a moment of reprieve. Settling it down on the pavement as gently as I can, I still feel the need to apologize to it. Putting it on the ground, even in these circumstances, seems callous. I paint the top of the case to ease the guilt. Yeah, she answers me, stopping and turning around. Whoa, you're trying to fry your case? She gestures to my instruments, and I quickly pick it up again. What's the color of guilt? That's exactly why I stopped, I say, unable to hide the exasperation in my voice. I gesture over my shoulder. You don't think your drum kit might melt in the car? Shouldn't we, stay close and open the doors for it? Maybe a car will drive by eventually. A smile plays at the corner of Steph's mouth, and she drops her duffel full of both our clothes and rests her hands on her hips. I notice the sweat glistening from her neck. A droplet runs over her collarbone, and I swallow. You really want to turn around and walk 20 minutes back to the car? She asks, her voice playful. Where we haven't seen a car all this time. She has a point, because of course she does. I stay silent. There's not much else to say. Maybe the sun will set soon. You want to be out here when night falls? She asks. Would it be such a wild suggestion? I mean, we have granola bars and crackers. And coyotes, she asks. We have those in Seattle too. Trust me, they're scarier than you think. Creepy as hell, and they travel in packs. That's enough to keep my ass walking, but she continues. Anyway. Besides, Alex, we came out for an adventure, she exclaims, fists in the air. And damn it, we found one. We got 3 days before we have to be in Fort Collins. Forgot the apostrophe. We have to be in Fort Collins. Let's, see the sights, even if it's just trees. And pavement. She turns and walks on, and I look ahead at the heat wave shimmering in the middle of the road. We walk until the car shrinks to a dot behind us, and a tiny green highway sign appears in the distance before us. Look, exclaims Steph. This has to be a sign for Barbarella. That has a Z in it, I say, squinting to read. Beelzebub? Ah, shit, we're walking into a demon cult, she jokes. Or a demon sex cult, but I'm not effing joking. You know what, if B-Town is so bad, I ask, a place with no cars coming in or out, maybe not somewhere we want to be. Steph is looking past me. Prayers answered. I follow her gaze and spot a car in the distance behind us, flickering with the heat of the road. I find myself hoping that even if this person doesn't stop for us, maybe they can spare some water. Hey, calls Steph, jumping up and down and flailing her arms. The duffel drops to the ground beside her. Hey, help, please. Steph, we don't even know who this is, I whisper. I don't know why I'm whispering. The person is still too far off to even see us, probably let alone hear us. What if they're a serial killer? Then we have a chance to solve a murder, she says without missing a beat. What? And if they really do run a sex cult? Steph smiles at me, laughing, a laugh threatening to pour forth. And let's hope they're hot. What the hell, I laugh. Help, hollers Steph, stepping dangerously close to the road. The vehicle is near enough to make out that it's a little blue pickup, an old one, probably older than me. The truck pulls up, crawls to a stop, and a guy leans out the window looking exactly how I imagined he would. 40s, slightly disheveled, checkered shirt with the sleeves rolled up to the elbows. He looks like one of those guys from the sun exposure experiments where half the subject's faces are scarred from constant UV and the other half is mostly pristine because he's driving the same 60-mile stretch of road all his life. You ladies lost? He asked. His voice doesn't match his face. It's soft, gentle. I study him, but he's looking at Steph. Steph glances at me before turning back to him and stepping up to the truck. We could use a ride to, She looks down the road and squints at the street sign. In a last-ditch effort to say the actual name of the town, Barbzal? Yeah, she hesitates looking at me again. Barbzal. The man smiles. I don't know if it was a friendly smile or a knowing smile, which is only contextually different from a sinister one. Maybe if I could read him. A glistening golden aura grows around his head, warm like summer winds in midwestern fields. Soft like cotton balls Nostalgia floods me, lifts my insides, till I'm so light I feel like I can fly. This man loves the thought of Barbazell. That's my home, born and raised, named Silas. How's it hanging, Silas? Asked Steph, picking up the duffel bag of our few belongings and, to my horror, heaving it into the back of the truck. I catch her hand just as she lets go of the bag. What are you doing? I hiss. At first she looks startled, then her mouth curves into a grin as she glances down at my hand, still around her wrist. Do I look afraid? She asks. There's no gold halo around her, but I study her eyes, beaming with hope. Or peace, no fear. No, I admit, but maybe you should be. You want to climb into a random truck of a random guy? Excuse me. Just because he's all warm and fuzzy about Barbazell doesn't mean he's warm and fuzzy. He's not a random guy, he's Silas. But before I can jump in with just how unhelpful it is to know his name, if that's really his name at all, she continues. And besides, she says, breaking away from my grasp and reaching for the guitar strung over my shoulder, the sooner we get to Barbazell, the sooner I can get us more oil. The sooner we get more oil, the sooner we get back on the road. And the sooner we get back on the road, she lifts my guitar up over the truck door and lays it in the bed as gently as a newborn baby. The sooner we get to Fort Collins, I finish for her, and then on to the rest of the world. She smiles, her eyes sparkling. She winks and walks up to the passenger door as casually and cozily as if this were Ryan's truck. Sorry again, my throat is a bit dry. I sigh because she's right. She's charging ahead in the Colorado wilderness to find motor oil and sustenance, because it's our only way forward. Maybe if I stuck it up and pretended we're choosing to get into this strange car with this strange man and drive to a strange town we've never heard of, it'll feel like a choice. But as I stare at our duffel and my guitar case in the trunk bed, and I rub my wrist to quell the unsettling wriggling I feel in my stomach, I can't help but think, you coming, Alex? This doesn't feel like a choice, and now Silas knows my real name. I take back what I said earlier. Knowing someone's name suddenly feels very personal. I look up at the driver's side where Silas' head turns and I hear him say something softly. Steph laughs, that gold aura glowing around her head again. Silas has one to match. He's still happy. That means we should be safe, right?